Hi, my name is Miguel, and in this video I'm going to talk about phonetics and phonology. Two key areas that help us understand how sounds are produced and used in language. So, have you ever noticed how Spanish and English sounds can be very different? Learning about phonetics and phonology can help us improve pronunciation and speak more naturally. So throughout this video, we will cover three main topics. Number one, we will explore the basic concepts of phonetics and Spanish phonology, focusing on how sounds are articulated in Spanish. Second, we will look at phonetics and English phonology, comparing how sounds are produced in English and why pronunciation can be challenging for Spanish speakers. And third, we will introduce or talk about the differences between American English and perceived pronunciation and how they have changed over time. So, at the end, we are going to talk about our face-to-face class. So let's get started. Let's begin by exploring the basic concept of phonetics and Spanish phonology, focusing on how sounds are articulated in Spanish. First, phonetics is a study of the physical sounds of speech, how they are produced, transmitted, and perceived. In contrast, phonology focuses on how these sounds function within a given language, the rules that govern them, and how they create meaning. Spanish phonology is relatively consistent because Spanish is a phonetic language, meaning words are pronounced as they are written. For example, the letter A always sounds like an A, as in casa, and the letter E always sounds like an E, as in mesa. Spanish has 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, and U, which are always pronounced clearly. And consonants are classified by their articulation. For example, we have plosive sounds like P in pata and T in taza. We have fricative sounds, F in foca and S in sapo. And we have nasal sounds like M in mama, N in nube. Another feature of Spanish pronunciation, it is a syllable time rhythm, where syllables are evenly spaced, making speech sounds smooth and predictable. So by understanding these basic concepts, we can better appreciate how Spanish sounds work and prepare to compare them with English phonology. Now let's move on to that. So now let's explore phonetics and English phonology, focusing on how sounds are produced in English and why pronunciation can be challenging for Spanish speakers. Unlike Spanish, which has a more predictable sound system, English pronunciation can be tricky because the same letter can be pronounced in different ways. For example, the letter A sounds different in cat and in cake and in father. 3 different words, 3 different sounds for the same letter. English has many more vowel sounds than Spanish. While Spanish has just 5 vowel sounds, English has around 20 vowel sounds and several diphthongs. Okay, so another challenge is about consonants. English has some sounds that don't exist in Spanish, like th, as in think, often replaced with T or S by Spanish speakers. The other word is R, as in red, which is different from the Spanish R. The other consonant is H, as in hello, which is often silent in Spanish words like hola. So English pronunciation also relies on stress and intonation to create meaning. For example, contract as a noun and contract as a verb. Changing stress changes the meaning. Additionally, English follows a stress time rhythm, meaning some syllables are emphasized more than others, making speech sounds less even than Spanish. So these differences explain why English pronunciation can be challenging for Spanish speakers, but understanding them is the first step to improving. So now let's move on the next topic. So now let's talk about the major approaches to analyzing English pronunciation: the American School and Received Pronunciation, or RP. These two models represent different ways of speaking English and are often used in phonetic studies to help learners understand pronunciation patterns. So let's get started with the American School. The American School of Phonetics focuses on the pronunciation used in the United States. The most common standard is General American, which is widely spoken in media and education. And some key features of this General American English include rhoticity. Americans pronounce the R sound clearly, even at the end of words, like in car, car. The flapping. The T in words like butter sounds more like a soft D. Vowel variations. Americans often pronounce vowels differently, like the broad A in father. Now let's see received pronunciation, or RP. On the other hand, as we already said, received pronunciation is the accent traditionally associated with the upper class and the BBC in the UK. And some features of RP include no rhoticity. The R at the end of words is often silent. So car sounds like car. Clear enunciation. Vowel sounds are more distinct, such as in dance, versus the American English, which is dance. Glottalization. In some RP variations, the T sound is replaced by a glottal stop, as in bottle. In conclusion, both accents are widely studied, and neither is better than the other. It all depends on the context and preference. Understanding these differences can help learners improve their pronunciation and recognize variations in spoken English. So now let's move to the final section, the conclusion. As a conclusion, we have covered key aspects of phonetics and phonology, from sound articulation in Spanish and English to the differences between the American School and Received pronunciation. And in our face-to-face class, we activated prior knowledge with a diagnostic activity, and we compared phonetic features and discussed pronunciation challenges. And we also work in teams to create outdoor videos applying what we have learned during these previous classes and activities. So as a conclusion or final statement, understanding pronunciation is key to clear communication. So keep practicing, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.